Good morning. Today is Saturday, March 9th, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, Cony, and MSTY. So, let's start with Cony. Oh my God, Cony. What did you do, Cony? You did a lot, all right? Got home last night from my son's baseball practice, and oh my God, look at this. BC, SB, SS. So, what did they do? Well, if you look at the top, the BC on the 200, right? Look at the expiration date, 4/19. This was their synthetic position. So they closed out their 200 synthetic position. So they had to do a BC, buy to close the put. And if you look for the other part of the 200, it's the third line. It's a sell. They sold the call. Okay? And they made a lot of money in the process. And then obviously they had to open a new position for the synthetic, and they chose 250. So you see on the fourth line, a B, buy call. And then on the fifth line, you see an SS, a sell, short sell put. Now, the contract number went down. I guess people have sold out of the fund. Maybe they're taking some capital gains, but whatever. So yeah, they closed out the synthetic and they opened a new. And then the second line, they did a BC right there. That's a buy to close, but that was the call. That was the call for, that expired yesterday. And then they, they opened a new weekly position that expires March 15th, the very last line, and they chose a 295 strike. But anyway, it's all gibberish until we pull up the spreadsheets. So here's the 200. How much did they make? Well, so they closed out 16,360 contracts. They made $64.62 for the call, and they paid $10 for the put. So obviously you see what they generated, $105 million from the call, but only had to pay $16,000 for the put. So the 200 synthetic in the end for March has made $93.8 million. So, I mean, awesome job. Now, let's take a look at the new synthetic position. This one expires April 19th. Again, their synthetic positions, it's now a thing where they're going like 1 month out. They're not going 6 months to a year out. So, but, it seems to be working for Cony and MSTY at least. Not so much for TSLY. But anyway, here's the new position that they opened, 15,760 contracts. Buy call sell put. So the buy call costs more than the sell put. It cost about 7.8 million more. So yeah, they had to pay 7.8 million to open this position. But obviously they made so much on the other one, it doesn't matter. It netted against it. So let's take a look how Coin did yesterday. Coin went up 5.77%, and Cony went up 2.59%. So, obviously they were pretty capped. But so they closed out. What do we say? They closed out the 16,360 contracts, and they paid $14.83 to close them. So that weekly contract, it was very close, but since Coin went up yesterday, it was a loss. But they were close to making money, which would have been really cool, but they didn't. It was a $20.6 million loss. If you count the one below in gray, which was closed the other day, it's about $21 million loss, okay? So it's okay. But their new position is a 295 strike, as we mentioned. They're doing all in one, no scattering. That's 14.96% out of the money. Again, I'd prefer they scatter, but they do what they do. Cash and treasuries, cash went up 30 million, but obviously they made a lot of money on the synthetic. So if you take the synthetic money that they made, minus the new synthetic position, minus the loss that they hit in the weekly calls, it looks like the difference was around 57 million. So cash and treasuries went up by 57 million. Okay. Total net income on the weekly calls is a debit, so we won't go into that breakdown. Active tab going into next week. Again, one position, 15,760 contracts, 295 strike, 14.96% out of the money. Expires March 15th. 101.84% implied volatility. So that's awesome. Coin price is $256 and Cony price is $27.29. Gotta love it, man. Cony fund manager is just like crying with joy because they got saved by the synthetic. If they didn't roll the synthetic, obviously it would look much worse, but they rightfully so, they should have rolled the synthetic. So here's their capital gains for next week, 408. So we could be over $30 again on Cony next week, because this crypto bull run is nuts. All right, what do we got? Synthetic income, 85 million. Short call income is a loss of 18 million. Net income, we're looking at 67.5 million, and that's an earnings of 474 per share already. Okay, very early into the month, and we made 474 per share. But keep in mind, it's clearly all from these synthetics, so it's all from the underlying actually going up. So when that happens, these funds work. All right, outstanding holdings. Real quick, in red, when I looked at their holdings from the website, this is obviously an automated formula that pulls from the website, but the items in red, it looks like they made a mistake, and they're still showing the 200 position, the synthetic, and that's what you see in red. So it's inaccurate data. I'm sure it'll be fixed the following day, but it is what it is. It's a mistake, so I'm going to ignore it. So anyway, they have the new synthetic position, which you'll see, the 250, buy, call, sell, put. You have the 295, you have 2 treasury bills, and then you have the money market government fund. So, and then obviously cash. Net asset value, the 200 is essentially like an offset anyway. So the net asset value is around that number. So, but yeah, that's it. That's it for CONY. So really, really good day yesterday because they made a lot of money on the synthetic. How much again? The closeout, well, these two numbers alone, what are we looking at? Like 90 million, 89 million. Pretty damn good. All right, so let's get to TSLY. All right, TSLY, what did they do yesterday? As you know, they used half of the contracts on Thursday, so they used the other half of the contracts yesterday, and they chose a strike of 183.33, but we'll get into that right now. First, this synthetic 220 is continuing to look awful. Again, this expires on Friday. It's going to cost 135 million as of today to close. But Tesla keeps going down and sucks. The 185, man, even that one, $11 million. So I'm hoping next week that Tesla can turn it around to at least produce some type of income from the 185. But man, it's been a rough road for Tesla as of late. So let's check out the March tab. What do we got here? Well, Tesla went down again. What a rough week, man. What a rough week for Tesla. What was Monday? I don't even know. So it started with the 16% dip. How much did it go down this week? Let's see. It went down 14% this week. Tesla went down 14%. That sucks. But anyway, Tesla went down 1.85% yesterday. So TSLY also went down, obviously, 1.49%. So TSLY is actually under $16, which means if this was, pre-reverse split, you'd be looking at under $8. So that's pretty rough. So what did they do? They closed out those positions prior, so we don't have to talk about that. But they opened a new position, the 183.33, and that's actually 4.56% out of the money. So they're actually moving their strike price up. Why? Because I guess they're not by the 200. I think when they were by the 200, they were able to go a little closer to, to the strike or to the actual stock price because they thought there was so much resistance, and clearly they were right because 200, man, that got rejected. But yeah, it's 4.56% out of the money, and the other one the other day when they opened it, it was 4.95% out of the money. So they're being a little safer. I would still much rather they scatter a little more, but anyway, they made a lot of money on all of these, $4.6 million yesterday and then 4.6 the day prior. So not bad. Cash and treasuries. Cash is still negative. What are they doing? Clear that out. Cash and treasuries went up 2.5 million. So overall weekly call income, we're looking at 9.2 million in weekly income. Total distribution is about 21 cents from that. Daily income, they're producing 5 cents a day, and daily yield 0.32%. Okay? All right, let's go to the active tab. Two positions, again, split evenly, 21,480 contracts, 187.50. This is the higher of the two. Again, this was open prior day, but now it's 6.94% out of the money, so that one looks pretty good. And then the other one is 21,480 contracts, 183.33 strike, 4.56% out of the money. If you're asking what is with this funky strike price, these numbers were, pre-stock split. So when they did a stock split years ago, some of the options chain went out, went way out. So they created this strike price way back when. It was, it was probably obviously an even number at that time. But at this point, since they did a stock split, since then, some of the numbers have to be obviously cut the same amount by whatever the stock split was. But anyway, Tesla price 175, Tesla IV, 30-day IV, 49.62%. 30-day chart looks ugly. TSLY 1591, don't like to see that. TSLY possible capital gains 91 cents. Reaction is, I don't know I don't know what this emoji is, but to me it's like, all right, I have got a black eye. It's like someone's just punching you in the face being a TSLY or Tesla owner. Like, how much damage can we take to this eye, right? Earnings date is coming up April 17th. Let's hope the sell-off, I don't know if the sell-off is going to continue through that, but I'm not a chart guy. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I certainly hope for a recovery very soon. Curve, we're looking at same thing, 100 contracts, 230 strike, and now it's 31% out of the money. So the potential capital gains on Curve is a lot. They can go up pretty decently. Curve is priced at 2015, so they might go under 20 soon at this rate. Let's take a look at the payment tab for TSLY. Short call income, 9.2 million. Synthetic income, 0. But that's going to be a debit, unfortunately. And back to the synthetic real quick. I mean, Tesla, to me, Tesla should not have these short synthetics. Like, it's not working out for them, right? When the 250 closed, that was 119. So they opened the 220, that was 315. So that's 2 months out. 2 months out clearly is not a good play because, in 2 months it can go, rapidly down. If you chose 6 months to a year, then guess what? The synthetic probably, more than likely, Tesla would go up, within 6 months to a year. But a short-term basis such as 2 months, 3 months, they're doing basically 1 to 2 months, and the stock can tank within that same time frame. So these synthetics on at least Tesla is not working. On Cony, it's a different story. On MSTY, it's a different story. So it's going to damage the March, total income. But right now, I guess we'll enjoy total income of 9.2 million, which is pretty good. Again, this is just weekly call income, 21 cents per share. That's good. It's early in the month. It's not Cony good because, again, their synthetic is making money. Tesla's and synthetic is not because the underlying is not doing well. All right, outstanding holdings. Again, they still hold 2 synthetic positions. They hold 2 treasury bills, and they have this money market open. And obviously the calls and cash. So anyway, net asset value, 721 million. Okay, NAV 1595, stock price 1591. So that's it. That's it for TSLY. MSTY. Oh my God, look at that. Oh my God. So what did they do? I mean, what did they not do, right? They did a B, an SS, a BC, a BC, a BC, BC, just a whole bunch of stuff, right? So they basically closed out their weekly calls. Yeah, they didn't roll their synthetic. No, they did not. So their 950 synthetic Did not roll. They added to their synthetic. If you look at the top, it's a B, buy, call, sell, put, top two. So they added 5 contracts, which obviously shows that there's still interest in this fund. And then there's a lot of BCs. So BC line 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? All BCs, they closed out their weekly calls and they paid a pretty penny. Look at that top one. They paid $121.95 to close that. Yikes. And then on the very bottom, you can see they opened 2 positions. Same strike. 2 positions, same strike. That's scary. I don't know, man. You got to scatter. You got to scatter these, baby. All right, their 950 still remains open. But look at MSTR. They're $1,425. Their strike is 950. They can make 4.9 million as of right now. March profits, not so much, right? There's only a debit since they bought in. So let's take a look at the underlying price. What happened yesterday? It went up 9.66%. Does it ever not go up? Good Lord. I think there was only one day it went down. At MSTY, it went up 9.35%. MSTY is at $34. Are you kidding me? It's about the double. Holy crap. So there was a lot of BCs. So if you look in white, it's just a BC party. But in summary, look what made money. Look what made money. If we look at rows 10 through 12, the way out of the money calls, the 48% out of the money, some would have said, oh my God, are they out of their minds? No, because guess what? They made money. They still had to pay $737 to close each contract, but they made a profit on that. So great job, MSTY Fund Manager, for choosing that strike. The other ones, not so much. Like this one, they chose 13.95% out of the money. They ended up paying $121.95. This one they chose, which was 40% out of the money. That was not enough. They paid $28.28 to close that. So, but this one was 19% out of the money, but that was pretty, I think they opened that late in the week. Only 41 cents to close that. So in the end, I mean, at least they did not lose on all the contracts. That's the beauty of scattering, right? So you got some reds, you got some greens, it's okay. And then they opened the 2 new positions. Again, the 1620, it's one strike, 13.64% out of the money. That's kind of tight, you know? I mean, maybe they're expecting a slowdown, but we'll see. Cash and treasuries went up overall, 1.8 million. Outstanding shares going up, 475,000. Total income is $323,000 loss. So let's look at the active tab into next week. I'm leaving the rows because I know there's going to be more interest in this fund and they're going to have more strikes. But for now, 105 contracts, 1620 strike. That's 13.64% out of the money. That can easily get blown out. That expires March 15th. MSTR price, $14.25. 30-day IV, 151%. Their chart still looks outstanding. Next earnings is obviously end of April, so that's not, relevant at this point. 34.62 though for MSTY, man. 34.62. Again, congrats to the guys who bought it. Potential capital gains, 472. Not bad. Again, we might hit 40. Here's the reaction. This is MSTY Fund Manager, making good moves. Although, their recent strike price, little kind of, put your all eggs in one basket, not that far out of the money. I hope you're right, but we'll give you a pass because you did good last week. You chose 48% out of the money. Okay, so we'll see what happens. Total payment. Again, synthetic income. We are looking at a they have a credit of remaining of 153,000, but again, they have a lot they're going to make on the 950 unless MSTR tanks. Short call income is a debit, so total net income is a debit of 170,000. So we're not really showing that we're making any money yet. Again, this is based on taxable events, which means based on actual buys and sells, not based on paper. All right, so outstanding holdings. Only Cony had to screw up, but yeah, they have the one position, which. Again, we'll see how it goes. Treasuries, they all got this government freaking money market thing. So, nothing new. Net asset value, 16.1 million. The NAV is 33.92 and the trade price is 34.62. Okay. So, yeah, I wanted to real quick. So that was the YieldMax funds. I just want to show you guys real quick. I've been kind of tracking this XDTE. This is the Roundhill fund. Again, they pay weekly. I just wanted to kind of take a look at them. So right now you can see there's 4 transactions under their holdings, right? So if you look at row 1 and row 3, those are the ones in gray. These are the buy calls, and these expire March 21st, 2025. So those are the only positions that exist right now, because the other positions really, that's just, that's the money market. This is a popular money market lately, FGXXX, that they're, I guess earning interest on, and then they have cash. They actually have negative cash. So where is the daily calls, you ask? Well, the daily calls, they actually are opened the morning of, which is pretty cool because you don't have to worry about what happens overnight. You don't have to worry what happens over this weekend. News can come out this weekend. You know that, right? And then the stock market could fly up. And guess what? If it does, these buy calls will capture everything. If we had opened calls, if we sold calls on Friday, then and the stock market went up, we would only be, we'd be capped at whatever the strike price chosen. But since they don't have calls that are, that go across, I'll say trading days, the overnight exposure, and weekend exposure, we can take advantage of that, right? Good and bad, of course, right? But, I think that's a pretty good part of this fund. I like that they do that. Again, I'm still confused on how they got money to buy the call, but obviously they have to start with some money. Right now they're negative 700,000 in cash, but we'll see how this goes. I'll try to track it, daily. I don't know if I'm going to talk about it daily because I don't even know if people care, but I think it's a really cool fund. And by the way, the SoFi weeklies, they're off the market. I don't know what happened. I don't know if that's concern for this fund, but hopefully not. But, we'll see what happens, guys. Anyway, as always, guys, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So I hope you had fun. I hope you were entertained and all that jazz. I'm actually in the car in my driveway. I got to escape the house. I'm not in the garage, so this is like an upgrade. Because I'm on my way to the gym. Well, I will be. And, that means I actually got a keyword because I'm doing legs. So the keyword today is chicken legs, right? So every man, should always work his legs. So if you go to the gym and you don't work your legs, come on, bro. You got to do legs. I know it's not as fun as doing, biceps and chest, but you got to do legs, bro. All right? So that's why the keyword today is chicken legs, all right? No girl likes chicken legs. Even if you're married, come on, work on those legs. Nobody wants to see your chicken legs. Anyway, enough about that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. Let's get like 400 likes, man. It's Saturday. It's a good weekend. Tesla's going to recover next week, I hope. And, if you're Cony holder and you're MSTY holder, you're making money. So you're happy. So since you're so happy, you got to hit that like button for that, even if you hate the video, just hit it for that reason. But anyway, I got to go. Again, thank you all for watching, and I hope to talk to you soon. Later.